Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and it's Saturday night. Hope you guys are enjoying the weekend. And we are here at the Movie Phantom's Horror Review. I'm, of course, joined by my lovely girlfriend, Maya. And, yes, we got ourselves a unique double feature tonight. Really, both of them are kind of less horror films and more dramatic. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
They kind of fall, I mean, they have horror elements, obviously, but they definitely, I would say, fall under the drama category. But let's get to those movies, as if you haven't already read the title down below. We got Martin and Singapore Sling. So let's get right into this. We're going back to 1977, George Romero's Martin, in which a vampire, who is in the form of a young boy, goes to his cousin's house. And it doesn't come out and say it's in Philadelphia, but I know it's filmed up there. Or not Philadelphia, sorry, Pittsburgh. I forget what town. It's a suburb of Philadelphia, I believe. But moves up there with his cousin, and was that his daughter or granddaughter? Granddaughter. And yes, and basically the movie is pretty much just him trying to just. It's not even like he's doing anything. It's just kind of like it just kind of follows him.
Talking to like a radio station.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is throughout this movie is we get black and white flashbacks of him being a vampire. Now, he's not a traditional vampire at all. This is not what you would think when you think vampire. Doesn't have fangs. He can go out in sunlight, but he does feast on blood. That's really the only thing that makes him a vampire, I guess. Crosses don't affect him. Garlic don't affect him. The only thing that kind of affects him, because he acts like he doesn't, but he does get out of the room, was the exorcism. Or, I mean, not exorcism, but when the priest is there reading from the book, he fucking flees pretty quickly. But, they never go into it much further than that. But yeah, so he goes there, and basically the movie starts off him on a train, and he attacks this girl. And what he does is, and I guess you find out later, he doesn't really kill them. They're still alive. He just knocks them out. But then he cuts them on the wrist, engages sex with them, because he's too embarrassed to do it when they're. He's a fucking vampire, but he's too embarrassed to have sex with anybody while they're conscious. And then he, drinks their blood. So that's pretty much the thing. And like I said, this is definitely, like, I don't know what I was expecting, because I remember hearing about this forever, and I always knew it was a different kind of vampire movie. But it's definitely, this falls definitely under drama. Like, literally, there's not a whole lot of horror going on. There's a scene where he's trying to get this one girl. He goes out of town because his cousin, well, this is just kind of the biggest plot hole in the entire movie, is like why he stays with his cousin, because his cousin knows he's a vampire. And he even tells him, like, I will kill you if you continue to vamp around or whatever. And it's like, he gave you the warning, like, I don't know, it just seems like I would have moved immediately. Like, fuck off, I'm leaving then. But he doesn't. He sticks around, which will come back and bite him on the end.
He's like one of the brothers or something. Mm-hmm. There's three guys. One of them's like Satan.
Well, the thing is, this is a family curse that's been passed down through generations. So they all, like, the older generation knows about the whole but of course his granddaughter doesn't believe in it at all. Doesn't think he's a vampire. And of course, Martin he tells her he is, but she just doesn't buy. She's like, you're mad because or not mad, like angry, but like insane because the family put this upon you. But yeah, but really the only scene is like kind of a thriller, and like I guess the horror / thriller elements was he stakes out this girl. And he waits for her husband to leave. And he breaks into the house and he's going to go after her. But when he bursts into the room, she's actually cheating on her husband with this other guy. And now he's got two of them to mess with. And it's a really good scene. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it's very well done.
I like the part like, get off the phone.
Yeah, because he's fucking with him and everything. Overall, I really dug this movie. I thought it was very well done. Of course, my top 3 this week was George Romero movies. I'm not saying this would crack in my top 3, but yeah, it's definitely. I made the comment that I didn't really know a whole lot of George Romero movies that I liked, and yeah, this one definitely makes the list easily. It has that George Romero style. I think the directing, especially, because his as far as his style goes, it's definitely a slow, deliberate pace. His pacing is just kind of like it's very it's unfolding or whatever. And definitely steeped in character drama. This one though, even the camera work, I feel like is more closer to Night of the Living Dead, because even between Night of the Living Dead and his later films, that had a more raw feel to it. And this one, it brings that rawness back to it. And I don't know, I really dug that. Now, I'm going to drop the spoiler. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Fast forward ahead, a little bit. The ending, holy fucking shit. Like, it almost, I'm not saying it's a complete fucking ranks way up there with it, but it reminded me a lot of Night of the Living Dead. Like, it just ends on such a down note because even though Martin, he's a vampire and he's, attacking these different people and, oh my god, like, he ends up killing, like, the guy who's the adulterer. He jabs him in the neck and drinks his blood. But, you're on his side. He's a sympathetic character. And he meets this girl who he delivered some meat to or something like that. He delivered groceries or whatever the fuck he does. He has a day job. But she gives him a ride. You can just tell she wants to fuck him hardcore. Like she's just unhappy with her life. Not just her husband, but just her life in general. And they kind of form this relationship. And it's the first girl he actually sleeps with. Like without having to knock her out or whatever. And the whole time he's, like you said earlier, he calls this radio station in. And they just call him the Count. Because he tells them the truth. Like he flat out tells them everything that he does. He just, just doesn't give his name or location like that. But so toward the end of the movie, he gets since he's happy, but then he goes to check on his girlfriend and she killed herself. So he's depressed, and of course, he's just trying to he's trying to tell himself like it's okay, it's not a big deal. It's probably better off this way, blah blah blah. But what happens is when he wakes up, his cousins above him with a stake, and he's like, "I told you if you killed anybody in in this town, I'd kill you." And he's like, "You think that's suicide? You think that's gonna work? You think that's gonna cover up what you did?" And it's like he didn't do it. Like the one time he doesn't attack anybody, she literally did just commit suicide. And too late, he fucking stakes the motherfucker. And I'm like, holy shit! Like I wasn't expecting it to come. I mean, I kind of figured it'd have like a open end, I guess, where it was just like, I'm depressed and blah, 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 blah. But no, like this literally just, they end the fucking movie. And then, over the opening, or the closing credits, much like Night of the Living Dead, where it was just like, them throwing bodies on top of this, fire or whatever, and you're still like soaked in this horrible ending, not only horrible as in bad, but just a very down ending. You get all these different phone calls. Where's the Count? Because the radio station, that's like their biggest segment was like talking to the Count, and like all these different people are like, where's the Count? And you're just like, I don't know. I just thought they were very powerful and I really loved it. But overall, I'm giving the movie a big thumbs up. So what'd you think of it?
Thumbs up.
All right. Got anything you want to share on it? Anything you did like, didn't like? Maybe a little insight into this film?
No.
All right. So yeah, it's definitely one of those movies, and I just remember, especially with Martin, I would read people talking about Twilight, because the one thing that every horror fan will bash, and I still will, this didn't sway me, the fucking glittery vampires and all that bullshit. They get in the sunlight and they glitter, and the first time we're like, these ain't real vampires. And the one thing that a lot of Twilight, I guess I can't really say a lot because most of them didn't know Martin, but most of them would be like, well, Martin, was a different kind of vampire, and he can get in the sunlight, blah, blah, blah. And now that I've seen Martin, I can say, no, you can't compare the two. Sorry. Twilight's still shit. And this is definitely, like I said, but no, I definitely like it. Like I said, it's a different kind of movie. Once again, not an out, it has gory moments. In fact, Tom Savini did the effects, which, I'm not gonna lie, I think the blood looked really fake in this one. Like, this looks really bad. I know Tom Savini's
like
the master, but this just looked really, But he actually stars in the movie, too. He plays the granddaughter's boyfriend that, is he living there, too, or is he just crashing? Or he just shows up every now and then?
He just, shows up.
I can't remember if he lived there or not. But yeah, so definitely check it out. Like I said, it's a different kind of horror film, but...
Because she leaves with him.
Yeah, that also saddens the Count, so... but yeah, big thumbs up there. And the other movie was a Greek film entitled Singapore Sling. The basic premise is a mother and daughter. Man, this is such a fucking bizarre movie. This is 1990. Even though it is black and white, but it's 1990. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil the shit out of this one too. So if you don't want to hear any more, because I do recommend you guys check this movie out too. This movie's fucking out there.
Too much boobies.
There's a lot of titties in this movie. Basically, what it is this mother and daughter. They play these sexual type games, and what happens is they kill their servants or whatever. And one night when they're getting rid of a servant or whatever, this guy shows up. Now he's the narrator, or actually it's can't really call him the narrator because they all have different points. Anyways, he shows up and he's a private investigator and he's looking for this girl named Laura, and he believes that. Well, no, it was the girl who was just investigating. I don't know if it's his girlfriend or not. I think
it was his girlfriend.
Anyways, so he's looking for this Laura, and of course he's injured on the way there, and they end up capturing him and putting him in the house. Now, this movie, I'm not gonna lie. Now, the acting's atrocious. The acting's really bad, really bad. But it does it keeps you guessing, like, what the fuck, or where are they going with the story? Because at one point you're questioning whether or not this is really a mother and daughter. You're questioning whether or not, Laura is actually the daughter, or if she, whatever the case may be. At one point I was assuming that, this Singapore Sling, which is the name they give the guy, which is also a mixed drink too, but, in this movie his name's Singapore Sling. I was even thinking at one point maybe he was in on it, like this is like one, because I'm not gonna lie, this movie is highly sexualized, it definitely plays for the erotic. It's not just tits for the sake of tits. I mean, it's I guess it is, but it's definitely more on the erotic side of things. They're constantly, and into the end, sorry to spoil, but you find out they are actually mother and daughter, so you get this incest angle in there as well. And the one that I thought was very interesting with the movie itself, aside from just the dark subject matter anyways, is, aside from the bad acting, I didn't like their storytelling perspective or anything. Like, basically what you'd get is they would talk to the camera almost like it was like not like a documentary, almost like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, where he would just kind of like, you'd be in a scene, and then he would turn and be like, can you believe this? And all three of the characters do that. Whereas the Singapore Sling guy, he's speaking in a foreign language. I'm not sure what the language is. I'm going to say Italian, but I could be wrong. It could be Greek for all I know. I really don't know. It's Greek to me. Anyways, but the other two, they speak English, and they look right into the camera, and it's like you're getting like a personal monologue or whatever, like their internal, it's different, but it also creates for a very muddled storytelling. I'm not going to say muddled. It's complex, and you really do got to kind of pay attention and stick with it. However, there are just scenes of sex and bondage and weird stuff like that, which, once again, I've always been the kind of guy that say, like, if you want to watch scenes of sex, just watch pornography. Like, that's, but this one, the story is pretty tightly wound to where it does, it's not just titties for, I mean, you said it was titties forever, didn't you? Yeah. A lot of titties. But no, there is a story there. There actually is a story. And I think the ending was actually pretty shocking, too. I guess we're on full bucket. We'll spoil it. Basically, what happens is building up. Once again, this is one of these weird kind of movies. I mean, it's a very artsy movie. I mean, to tell you right now, it's a very art-driven artsploitation, I guess you can say. And you're like, even you said at one point, why don't the guy just leave? Like, he's up on his feet, he can get out. And even the daughter is like she's gonna leave. But once again, it's weird. You don't know is she Laura, is she not? And she keeps kind of playing the role of Laura. But anyways, it's getting to the point where they're all going to end up. Someone's going to get killed. And of course, each of the mother and daughter separately are talking to the guy like we're going to team up and kill the other. But then, of course, they're talking like they're going to end up killing him. Well, what happens is the daughter turns on the mother, and they end up killing her. What happens is in the very
executing her.
No, they drowned her. Remember, they threw the net on her in the tub. Oh no, they turned her water, and then they took the pitchfork and they stabbed her and killed her in the tub. In the very beginning, you find out there was this girl named Laura, and what happened was she was just kind of on the run or whatever. Shows up there, she's very nervous. Well, they attacked her, they raped her, and then they eventually killed her. But the mother and daughter likes to reenact this a lot. So what happens is, and I'm guessing this is when, because they mention father a lot, and they also show father, but he's in a mummy form. This is very weird for you, I understand, but believe me, this is exactly how the movie went. Anyways, he was always in on these sex games as well, and the raping and killing of the servants. Well, what I guess when they're reenacting the game early on, the daughter walks in on the mother, and the daughter pretending to be Laura. Well, the mother reveals she has a strap-on dildo, and she's forcing the daughter to suck her off. At the end of the movie, the daughter is and I thought that they were just re-showing it again, cause the movie does that quite a bit. There's a lot of re-showing the same footage, but it's different chronological order or whatever. As she walks in, she's talking to who he thinks the mother. Well, it turns out it's Singapore Sling. But when he reveals what should be the strap-on, it's the father's knife, and he ends up fucking the daughter to death, which she eventually pulls out a gun and wastes him as well.
He grabs the knife and it cuts her.
Yeah, I mean he fucks her up hardcore, and I was like, son of a bitch, I wasn't expecting that. This movie it's black and white, but there is quite a bit of gore. The one thing I literally thought was disgusting though is these people had a food fetish. It's so fucking weird, and they have these scenes.
And they eat until they puke.
Yeah, and they show them just throwing up. Sometimes they throw up on each other. It's weird, and they're constantly and it's so. And then at one scene it shows, I think it was the daughter. She's masturbating with a kiwi or something like that. It's a very
some fuzzy something.
Yeah, I think it's a kiwi, and she was just going to town. And they show it. They fucking show it. They weren't backing away on this thing, but it's actually here on YouTube, if you believe it or not. And as far as I know, it's uncut. They showed everything. There was nothing they didn't show. There's no penetration like that, but it's titties, and you see her vag several times. But yeah, if you want to check it out, Singapore Sling, it's right here on YouTube. Overall, I did like it. It was very weird. It was a little hard to follow, but it did keep you interested. I never got bored. I'll say that I never got bored with it once. But it is very artsy. And once again, at the end of the day, you're just why didn't he these? I guess you can say everybody's just crazy, but why didn't they just kill him sooner, or whatever the case may be? Why didn't he try to get out earlier? Because he's fucking. They all just eventually go nuts too. That's the thing. Nobody in this movie is normal, and it's only a cast of 3, but still, yeah. So what did you think about it?
It was okay, but too much titties.
Too much titties?
Yeah.
You can never have too many titties. Beyond that, though, what did you like about it? You said it was okay, but what? Well, we know she didn't like the titties, but then she can't tell you what she did like about the movie to give it an okay rating. Overall, I like it. That IMDb had it listed as horror, horror, drama, fantasy, I think, or some shit like that. Or romance, I don't know. It was something. It had a bunch of fucking different things. There isn't much horror in this at all. This is a very deliberately paced, dramatic film. Very artsy. It's very artsy more than anything else. Now there are moments of gore and there's just other weird shit and lots of sex. If you're into bondage and weird shit like that, this will be the movie for you right here. So yeah, overall I'm giving it a thumbs up, and I'm also giving Martin a thumbs up. So if you want to give horror, straight up horror a break for a little bit and do a dramatic double feature, I would recommend Martin and Singapore Sling. So anything else to add? No? Tired? We did this a little later tonight than we normally do. Alright, well, on behalf of Sleepy Maya over here and myself, Martin, Singapore Sling, check them out, and yeah, catch you later.